African American female consumer, that's totally pure power.
Hello, black people! Hello, black world! Welcome to another webisode of The Lobby, where we talk back and we talk black. I'm one of your co-hosts, Brandon I. Brooks. I'm the managing editor with the LA Sentinel newspaper and also the LA Watch Times. I have lovely co-hosts here to my right, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves. Why don't you go ahead?
Hi, I'm Taylor Bakewell. I'm the digital director for the Los Angeles Sentinel.
Hi, I'm Nicole Williams, and I'm the project manager for Taste of Soul Family Festival.
Hey, I'm Jay-Z the Gentleman. I am the guest host today.
As you see, we have a wonderful panel, and what's even more wonderful is we have a beautiful, lovely guest here with us today by the name of Cheryl Grace. Cheryl Grace works with Nielsen, and she is a senior vice president. She is over U.S. Strategic Community Alliances and Consumer Engagement, which let's give it up for that. That's big time. So thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Brandon. I'm so excited that you guys are even interested in knowing more about statistics and research. So I think that's totally cool.
And I think that's a good segue. We're here looking at this a great report, as I like to say, with a lot of empowering information, which Nielsen provides on a daily basis. But Cheryl, can you let us know a little bit about this report that is in our midst and some of the information that it has, and then we can get into some other things.
Sure. So we released in September our 7th annual State of the African American Consumer Report. And this year we kind of loved it because it's called African American Women, Her Magic, Our Science. And so it's a play on, Black Girl Magic.
Yes,
and the report is all about how wonderful Black women are as consumers.
Amazing.
So we'd like to ask you, what is Black Girl Magic? It means something different to everyone, but what does it mean to you?
So for me, first of all, I think being a Black girl is really great.
Yeah.
Let's give it up. No, seriously. We're going to spice it up.
Right? Good answer. But, when you're also an African American female consumer, that's totally pure power. And so sometimes, like magic, things just seem to appear out of nowhere. That's what magic is, right? And so sometimes people think that Black female power is kind of like magical because they don't see it coming. But as Black women, we know we've had it all along. But Nielsen just thought it would be great if we kind of shed a little bit of light behind what that magic looks like from a consumer perspective. So we are a research company, so we measure what you watch, what you buy, what you listen to, what you download, all of it. And as women, we have tremendous impact on African American buying power here in the United States, which is about $1.2 trillion a year, every year. And it grows. It doesn't, decline. And women influence the bulk of that. So, y'all all single?
No, I'm not.
Well, then, Brandon, so let's just say if a major purchase was going to be made in your home by you, could you make it by yourself?
No. I wanted to get literally, the other day it's Christmas time. I want to get a tree. I want to make the house good. I was literally afraid to buy something. I was like, so I'm not messing with that.
So that's my point, is that we influence the bulk of the $1.2 trillion that Blacks spend, period, in the United States.
That's amazing.
Obviously, we all got a chance to read the report. So what does Black Girl Magic mean to you guys?
Once the hashtag Black Girl Magic came out, for me, I didn't understand the levels of it and the depth of it until reading this report. But seeing stats that will back up what I know is true for us, it makes it that much more like, wow.
Yeah.
Black Girl Magic to me it's like it's been an internal code, I think, amongst Black women for a really long time, especially in the rise of social media. And I think for Black Girl Magic to me, it's like, oh my gosh, you look amazing in that dress, Black Girl Magic, but it's also, you won the Grand Slam, that's Black Girl Magic. And I think it's to show that Black women are not monolithic creatures. We're different and we're complex, and Yeah, it's magical.
We're way too black. Yeah. Like we acknowledge each other.
Right.
And we
Yeah.
have been for many, many years.
Yeah.
But the report just puts some data behind it.
Yeah.
Why do you guys think we've had to, as black women, had to create this term in the first place?
Yeah, I think we're not celebrated in a lot of areas and in a lot of spaces. So I think in this new wave of feminism that's coming up, where women are supporting women and being encouraging of women, it's a head nod amongst black women.
Right.
We've always been trendsetters, and I think that's what the report really highlights, is
Right.
we are setting trends and we are setting the culture. That's what Black Girl Magic is, and that's why we needed to create this hashtag, is to show, okay, we are in solidarity and we love each other, you know. So
I think when you talk about influencing other cultures, a lot of people don't give us credit for that.
Absolutely.
They don't give us credit
True.
for the fact that everything that you see on a fashion runway, that you hear in music, etc., generally started with black people,
Right.
and we don't often get credit for that. And we celebrate each other, like behind the scenes. Oh, girl, that was
Yeah.
great, da, da, da.
Exactly.
You know. But the rest of the world didn't know about those celebrations.
Right.
It's to
You know,
me.
for me, and I'd have to go, back to Black Girl Magic, it's such an empowering word. And I think, as you said, I know that it's kind of was a black woman thing that we're being privileged to be part of. I mean, everything that you've done in history to prevail to get to this point, I think represents. So even with Black press, the fact that we highlight on a daily basis, positive persons like yourself. You're Black Girl Magic. Senior Vice President with Nielsen.
Right.
And there's levels to you guys, but this is Black Girl Magic here. And to be able to highlight it or just to get a glimpse of it is powerful. So I'm in the midst of greatness, but for me, to see you all, it's very empowering.
Yeah, and that's really interesting because we don't hear black men, especially in the culture, in social media, really praise black
Right.
women, and I think that's also important.
Really?
Why? Yeah, I mean,
You don't see it
no.
very often.
Not as
Yeah.
often as
And
we
it's
probably
very,
like.
to
I
me,
think
it's
that's
subtle.
generational then, because I see it in my age group. Like,
Oh, that's
but I may be a dinosaur with social media.
No,
But
I think that's really
Facebook,
interesting. Yeah.
I get that from the guys.
Yeah, but if we even look at the marriage breakdown in the report, it says millennials 18 to 35 have never been married, but then you see
Right.
this big jump in people getting married after the age of 40 for black women, which I think
So
is
that-
so
Right.
interesting.
I just got married last year.
Shout out your boo.
That's so
Well,
interesting.
yeah, that's
Right.
right
on
on
why are young black women not getting married when we are the trendsetters and we are the number one growing entrepreneurial category. We are getting paid, and most of us want to reach the highest level in our profession. So why aren't?
So there are a couple of things to that. So 38% of black women are married. And that's much lower than our counterparts, right? Hispanic, Asian, Caucasian is much lower. But you also have to understand, when you take a look at those numbers, that 52% of the black population are women. So we start off with more of us,
Right.
and then as we age, the numbers start to dwindle. Men die before women still. And then you also have to take into consideration that not all black men are into women, and you have to take into consideration that not all black men are not all black men are, living in the free world amongst us right now.
Right.
And so you start to look at all of those things, and it impacts the pool of selection. And then y'all just get picky women, right? And
Another lady said it. I didn't say it. Yeah, that's right.
I have a
No.
lot of beautiful friends who have never been married, and they just get like real picky, and that's okay when you're your age. So take it from me now.
But compromise is a real word.
Choose
right?
like while you can now, while there's a bigger pond, because pretty soon it turns into like a little bitty pool.
Right. And I think that's interesting because as black women, you see these statistics and you're like, is it because we're so independent that we don't need anyone else? Because for so long we've had to take care of our households, take care of everyone around us. Like, we build everybody up, we nurture everybody up, but we don't really accept the nurturing back.
But we do need people.
Of course.
And we just say that. And I think that's a blocker, too. is if you say you don't need anyone, then that actually it's kind of like a safe wall to hide behind. Because then if you say you don't need anyone and then nobody appears, then you're good because I don't need anybody. But really, what you put out there is what you get back.
Yeah.
So if you say you don't need anyone, then ain't nobody gonna show up, even if you turn your porch light on. So I'm just saying.
That's advice. Even you. I mean, the present day image of women as we see is on a little bit more of a cutting edge side. At least these popular women. Now we know there's Black Girl Magic. There's these hashtags, and we are highlighting the Sentinel Black Press. We love empowerment. And that's what we do. But outside of us, and sadly enough, we're a minority in that sense. Where's the black image of women today? Is it where it needs to be? Is it Michelle Obama? Is she gone?
Right.
And is that gone? And when she left, like, what's going on?
To be honest, when you look at popular culture, it does worry me that a lot of times when you see the black woman, you're seeing her getting mistreated. It's always mistreatment. Either she's getting cheated on or she's fighting with the next girl. So I'm more worried about the impression that it's making on younger women. Like, that's how you're supposed to have conflict management.
So,
because a lot of us don't do that. We don't have to fight like that, you know?
And I'm not saying to you, but that is a great question. If the perpetuation is coming from, us indulging or over-indexing on this consumption of television, then it's just like, okay, well, when I make a choice, how does that have a domino effect on everything else?
But I believe what's powerful, and this is, I'm coming to somewhat of a conclusion based on stats, is it seems as though is maybe the image today is, and Cheryl, you can speak on this more because you were recently married, are women waiting longer to get married because of the images that are portrayed? Because it's the independent women throwing drinks on TV. Not saying that you were influenced by that, but why are black women, even I think, what is the statistics interracially?
Interracially, black women are marrying, 10% of us are marrying outside of our race. 10% of Hispanic women are marrying outside of their race, and 26% of Asian women are marrying outside of their race. So there's that.
I believe in love is love, but black love is under attack. So black women, so all of that. And I find that it is difficult, even for me as a young man, you're trying to find that situation, but it's difficult. But I just feel like women, your image is under attack, and I think Black Girl Magic in this report highlights the power you have. Yeah. And some of that glimpse, but I still think the negative, unfortunately, which is why I love what we do, Black Press, but it's too much negative.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a balance.
Yeah, and so that's when I look at television in terms of the whole Real Housewives of Atlanta and the perpetuation of the negative stereotypes, where it's just like we're feeding into the system that they, and I'm not going to say they, but that's been created to keep us blindfolded.
Yeah, but it's not going to be created repeatedly unless you're watching it repeatedly. And so at some point, you got to stand up and take responsibility for your own actions. At some point, it's no longer just entertainment. You recognize it for what it truly is.
This report, the work you do, you're a black woman, but you don't just do a report for black folk. You do other reports. Yeah. So how do you keep your Black Girl Magic within the context of just humanity and, focusing on other communities too? Because you're not working in the Nielsen Black department. You're working for Nielsen as Senior Vice President.
Right.
So, yeah.
I've been doing this, it'll be 14 years in 2018.
Wow, that's amazing.
And before then, people really weren't talking about our buying power. They weren't talking about our spending power. They weren't talking about the fact that we have more people enrolled in college than, we like to believe we do. And Nielsen is just committed to making sure that our clients understand this, because when we get to 2044, 2060, we're going to be the majority. If companies wait until then to tap into our power, there are going to be a whole lot of companies out of business.
Thank you so much for sitting with us.
Thank you for having me. I love this enthusiasm. Keep it
excited.
up.
Everybody, thank you again for joining us for another webisode of The Lobby. We want to thank Cheryl Grace, our gracious guest. We want to thank the LA Sentinel readers. So please, so those of you that are not current subscriber readers, make sure you subscribe. Visit www.lasentinel.net. Visit lawastimes.com for up-to-date news, social media. We're there. And visit us on the App Store. We really appreciate you guys, and we're looking for more coming up. Till we see you again, black people!
That's it.
Adjourn.